Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and today I want to talk a little bit about some planner changes and also looking forward to 2026, a couple of my planner thoughts for my future planner stack. And I thought I have a little over 1/4 left in this year to start implementing some habits again. So I've talked about this in tons of videos. I ended up with shingles only in my eye. I was on strict eye rest at the beginning of the year, and it took until about March-ish for me to feel normal again. I had a lot of fatigue even after the eye rest. I had a very sensitive eye for quite a while. I think it's pretty much back to normal now. Like, I can stare at my phone for extended periods of time now, whereas before I could not stare at a screen hardly at all. Just the sensitivity was getting to me. So I ended up starting the year really off on a really rough foot. I had done just like a sit down in the bathroom video, catching you guys up to speed on things, and I had gotten completely out of my workout routine even before the eye shingles. I had some issues riding the bike, you know, lady bit issues, and so I ended up totally getting out of the habit of biking, totally having the shingles thing, and getting out of the habit of working out whatsoever. And that has been a major struggle this year, dealing with first quarter of the year being just kind of a wash as far as goal setting, productivity, doing anything but mostly like treading water, survival mode for that period of time. Just totally put a wrench in my whole year plans pretty much. So it took me a while to feel myself again after that whole situation. I also started a business, so that's been something that I've been pouring a lot of time and energy into, just doing my cake pop business. And so I'm at the point now, my kids are both back in school. I feel like I have a pretty good handle on my cake pop business, and I'm ready to implement more goal setting and implement a workout routine again. And part of it is tracking what I eat, and part of it is getting back into the actual exercising portion of it. You know, I loved being on the bike, I loved building muscle, I loved feeling strong, I loved being comfortable in my body, and all the things associated with that. So just building back those habits after pretty much like a year break at this point. You know, we're moving into the fall, and when the fall is when I had the lady bit issues last year. So we're dealing with about a year hardly working out at all. If I have worked out, it's been very small doses, and just not having the habit anymore. I just don't have the habit of tracking my macros anymore. I just mindlessly will snack, and I also just don't even think about my bike. And it's so sad for me to say that. I had so many years of me having that as just such a big part of my life, and it's just been a rough year, just to be honest. It's been rough, and it's hard to not have that little bit of the mood boosting element of working out, the feeling good about yourself portion of working out. And it's so counterintuitive, but when I work out, I feel more energetic. When I am a lump and I am a couch potato, I feel less energetic. It's just a whole like spiral thing. So part of me doing this video is setting some more things in place so that I get into the habit of working out again. So I get into the habit of counting my macros again, and just getting back into that being part of my daily routine. And right now it's such a foreign concept. Like, the idea of getting on my bike now sounds terrible. It just sounds like it's hard, and I don't want to sweat. And I feel like it's so much easier to sit on the couch and play my cozy games than it would be to just take a 20-minute amount of time and go ride the bike. I'd feel much better if I did it, but now it's that mindset hurdle, and it's pushing against what's normal now, you know? So I thought about this whole thing. I was like, how am I going to get back into working out? I have the app on my phone to track my macros, but I forget about it. It's just on my phone, forget about it being there. And I thought about how I love reading, and I've kind of gamified reading by giving myself a sticker. So part of my system is I want to start giving myself a little sticker. And it's so dumb. It's like a sticker chart. You know, if I was like a little 5-year-old, or a potty sticker chart, you know, like doing your chores or making a potty, you get a sticker. Well, I've set up my reading journal in that same capacity, where I love giving myself a sticker. I love checking off when I read a new book. And so I'm going to use that concept and turn it into part of my gamification of my health. So this is just my reading journal. Got all the pages set up all year long. I have given myself a sticker. I didn't check off my list, but I've read pretty much every day. There's like one gap I see here in December. There's like one daily gap here. And this is audiobooks. Like, this is when I got my shingles eyeball the night of Christmas. So this is all audiobooks, and I've still been really leaning on audiobooks. Yeah, these are audiobooks here. And so I give myself a little book with a number on it when I finish a book, and I also give myself a sticker every day that I read, which is pretty much every day. Even when I was on my iRest, especially, I was going through audiobooks really fast because there's not much you can do when you can't use your eyeball. So I was going through books pretty fast here. April, May, like here's one day I didn't read. You know, like very rarely is there a day I don't read, but I look forward to writing it down. I love when I get a new book. I start a new book, and I just really enjoy this whole concept, right? So I thought I would take this same sticker chart concept and apply it to a health journal. I thought at the beginning of the year I would have a fitness workout journal, and it never ended up panning out. I had my sushi hone. It's just yellow, it's the bow and tie, it's got sushi on it, and I feel like it's a little bit too big for what I want to do. Part of me going to use a health tracking type system is I need some place to journal just about body image, about working out, about the mindset shifting, about trying to develop this habit. I just want to be able to write things out. So I pulled this one out. I'm combining a couple of things. So I was using the Hobo Toridori, which I did not bring up here. The Hobo Toridori Weeks, it's this size, but it's got the little Hobo Toridori icons and stuff on it. Super cute. I decided to pull out this horizontal, and this is a horizontal. I'm trying two different things. I don't know what's going to stick, but I have the 2025 horizontal A5. I thought I would replace the Hobo Toridori, like mom life chore chart type thing, with this and help build habits. And I also pulled out the 2025 Hobonichi Weeks, and this one's white, so I use the Tamagotchi cover. And I thought I would write in my food, like just make a list of the food. I don't want to duplicate everything, but I wanted something more horizontal versus vertical. I also have the notes marked in the back, so I could write some notes back here too, but I don't know which of these is going to stick as far as what I want to do. And so for this one, you know, it has the same little things here. I thought I could do the sticker chart in here, but I'm also doing a weekly weigh-in, so I will put that in here as well. It's something personal. I'm not going to share numbers necessarily on here, but I thought I would write about how it's going. Also, I can write some more notes on this side, or if like my food carries over, it can just go across. So I'm not sure if it's going to be strictly, this is going to be health because I'm going to be journaling in this one, or if this one's going to be strictly health where I can write out my food. But right now I'm using this one as like a chores thing, like in place of the Hobo Toridori. So I wrote out like what days I want to do, what main type chores. Like I'll do the daily chores and pretty much cook every dinner. I plan for leftovers a lot, but like that's my little to-do list. This side could be meal tracking potentially. So it would take this one out completely. And then it also has monthlies in the front that I could use. And I pulled this one out specifically because I'm testing it out in place of the complete planner. So I'm seeing how I'm going to use this. Of course, the complete planner is going to be vertical versus horizontal, but I was thinking about the pages in the front as workout and fitness pages. So I would have this for tracking mileage and workouts. I could do some sort of color coding system on here, or I could write in whatever workouts I do in this section. I could also actually use this for goal setting on the quarterly pages. And then the monthlies, I want to give myself a sticker. I'll probably put my weekly weigh-ins on here or somewhere else. I want to make sure I'm keeping track. I want to do measurements potentially too, but Stella broke my measuring tape, so I'd have to buy another one. But between these things, I want to make sure I'm giving myself a sticker for days I'm tracking and days I'm working out. So it could be potentially 2 stickers, you know, one for working out, one for tracking. This is big enough I could put 2 little stickers in, and then I would end up tracking mileage again. I loved tracking mileage, and then at the end I could add up each month, or here I can add up the mileage, you know, whatever way I want to do it. But I think I'm not going to have a full-on, just separated out workout journal, workout planner like I had before, because I feel like I don't need to write out every single workout. As far as like I would do like 10 miles on the bike, let's say, and I'd take 2 or 3 different rides. I would write out what rides they were. I feel like I don't need to write those out necessarily, and if I do, I can just make a list. Like Monday I did this, Tuesday I did this, and just carry it on in some of these back pages, because there's plenty of back pages. But I want the workout information to be more concise. Like today is yoga and 10 minutes on the bike or something, you know, keep track somehow. and keep track of mileage. I assume I'll keep track of mileage on here. So I'll have some sort of color coding system if I want to put in the workouts on here versus using this for workouts. I could use this for tracking something else. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to fall, but I think that's how I'm going to use my 2026 complete planners. I'm going to try to combine as many things as possible, not have complete dedicated planners for certain things like working out. I don't need a whole entire planner for that because I'm just getting back into the habit of it, hopefully. That's going to be the last quarter of this year, and the last couple weeks of September, I'm trying to build this habit back. You know, I used the macro tracking app one day, and this is my second day, so I feel really good about like hopping back in, trying really hard to remember that. And I haven't gotten back on the bike or worked out yet, but that is definitely in my plan for later this week. So it's something I'm going to incorporate in starting here. You know, I'm right in this week here. So I still have 3 whole months to go, and that's the building the habit months, so that when we hit 2026, I'm already in the habit of it. I'm just going to continue on with it. So I feel like these are really good practice months kind of thing. Like, okay, I'm going to practice. I'm going to get back into the habit of all of these things, but I'm going to take it carefully. Moving back into it, I don't want to injure myself, or I don't want to get too sore doing too much all at once. So I'm going to ease into it, and I feel I have the capacity now. I feel like the second I started feeling better, it's in dance competition season, it's in summertime. We took multiple very large vacations this summer. Then the kids went back to school, and it took a while to get adjusted. And now I'm finally feeling like, okay, the kids have been in school about a month. It's time for me to get back into some of these habits that mean a lot to me. And I just have fallen off this last year with a couple of health issues. I just fell out of the habit, and now I'm trying to build that back in. So I think I'm going to do it by giving myself stickers, and I think that's going to be like the most fun way I can possibly do this. I love tracking the mileage. That adds a level of satisfaction to it. I can also just plain old write in my workouts, even on here. Like, I could write out my workouts if I still want to write out my workouts, or write like workouts this week, make a little chart of the workouts. So I feel like there's plenty of room in this for me to figure out how I will use the complete planner for 2026 as far as working out goes. I can put it in somewhere, somehow, and figure out the way I'm going to use it. So like, here's where I was doing some planning, but that's pretty much it. Like, I tried it out a little bit and then never ended up using this planner. So I love this one. It will definitely be one that I can redate in the future as well, because I'm only going to basically use the last quarter of it. And I just wanted to use it. I wanted a good excuse to use my Moomin cover, so my Moomin cover is in use. I just have a fountain pen, and this one has caramel sparkle in it, and a brush pen. And I'm going old school, guys. This is something I did way back. I'm not going to show writing, like I was doing a little bit of journaling on here, but way back in the day, I started, like, these were like prompts, journaling prompts. And then here, I used to write out lyrics, like whatever song I woke up with in my head, I'd write out a couple of lyrics, just practicing brush lettering and making it cute, and then journaling around that. So I did that yesterday. I've got to do that again today, and I'm very excited about just diving into something different, trying to get into some extra habits. If I want all of my stuff separated out, I also have this one that I can play around with. I marked the pages as if I were going to use this one, so I could go back and forth and decide what version I'm going to be using for this topic. As far as 2026 goes, I definitely want to do a reading planner. I like this. I don't know that I'm going to need a full-on like monthly, weekly, and lots of notes like this. I'm basically just using the monthly pages and a few note pages at this point. So I could end up printing out a monthly and sticking it in whatever notebook I'm using, or sticking it in the back of a notebook like this, because I don't do this kind of like journaly type thing every single day. I would typically only do it during like the weekdays, so there's still tons of notes pages available. I won't use necessarily one every single day, so that is totally an option for setting up monthly pages in some other capacity. I do love having it as a little separate booklet, but I don't need it separate. I'm finding I'm just using those monthly pages, so I could totally go in my gaming planner, and this is going to be my gaming planner for 2026. I found that I don't need a ton of room for all of my hobbies. Oh no, my stickers. I don't know what happened here. I squished my stickers somehow. So this is my hobby planner, and this is a Godzilla vinyl that I stuck on here because I love the Hobonichi special edition weeks, and it was only sold at the Godzilla store in Japan. I couldn't get it anywhere else, so I just made my own with a sterling ink, and I have used this quite a bit, but I stopped using the weekly pages pretty early on. I liked, you know, tracking all my Hello Kitty stuff, tracking all my Animal Crossing stuff, but I didn't really need to like write out which things I was playing every day, although I love my little monthly chart I used. But January looked awesome. Didn't do February. I did December and January, and then I was like, you know what, that's a lot of work. I can't like highlight the streaks each day because then it would look all disjointed, so I kind of have to wait till the end of the week, and it was a lot to track, but I love the way it looks, but never ended up sticking that out. So I think the monthlies in my gaming planner will be free to use as a reading journal, so it might end up being, get this thing on, there it is. I might end up putting my reading in the front in the monthlies, and then still unsure about what I would do on the weeklies, but I just need a lot of space for any sort of gaming thing I'm doing. I track notes, I have crochet stuff in here. This is all goals for Hello Kitty. I plot out flowers here and there, although sometimes I don't write them out anymore, but it's just like, I need lots of notes, but I don't need an entire book for notes. I don't have all these filled out. So this is my last page filled out, 153. So 153 of these like half. So it might be I need more notes than will fill up one week's planner. So I can add notes somewhere else if those notes run out, but I can also start them on the weekly pages because I stopped using the weekly pages at some point pretty early. Look, that's March. I have like a little bit written here and there, but I don't really use these very much. So it totally could be a way where, okay, I start whatever gaming stuff for the week on the actual weekly page. That would be my reading chart. And then I'd have some sort of list in the back where, like, you know, there's still like 70 some odd pages in the back. I would start a page in the back that's just like books read. So I have a list of my books that I read or whatever series I'm reading. I wrote out all the Dune books in my reading log in the back. So it could be a way where I make sure I'm using these pages. I'll flip open to whatever week I'm on. I can use the daily section and then carry over on this side as well. If I need more room, I can use the pages in the back, but I would be utilizing this a little bit better and combining my gaming and my reading. And what I use a lot in here are just charts, and I think I would have to put these charts elsewhere or they are going to get super small, or I have to make them even more pages. So these are all the flowers, and there's like 20 some odd colors, and then each one you can pattern transfer as well. So you can get all these different kind of patterns per flower. So I would need these charts, but they'd have to be smaller in here. So I'm thinking they would just be like, whatever chart this is, I would print it on 2 pages potentially. Like this one would take up 2 weekly pages in here in the back. Where's the back? There's the back. So I would set it up where it's like, takes up 2 pages per chart potentially, so that I can have all that same information in here and it's all together instead of having these charts printed somewhere else and having 2 different gaming spots. I would still want it to be all in one spot. I'm thinking I'll probably make the spreadsheets and stick them in here before the beginning of the year. Just make it take up 2 pages. That way it will look really clean and sleek and it's all contained in one. So I would be dropping down from this big chonker plus this big chonker to one little gaming planner. And I think that would work really nicely. I probably would still put it in this potentially so that I have pins and stickers and stuff with me. But that's a big change. All this to being just like this size or potentially just this size. And that would be really a nice change. As far as working out and all that stuff, this is adding in another layer. So I don't know how this is going to shake out over the next few months, but I will have the complete A5 sterling ink, which I plan on using as a almost one and done planner. Now this is my Franken planner. It covers a lot of things. I want to have some sort of separate content planner. I started it in here and it's just not going the greatest. I've got custom order pages, and then I've got, oh, this is October. I'm like, why do I not see anything? It's because I'm in the wrong month. So I started in September and started this page. So I was writing out videos. It's either short form content or long form content. I flipped it the second week I wrote it out, and then this is this week, and so far I haven't written anything out yet, but I find that I like this, but I also don't like it. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. I thought it would work for me better than it has. I have used, however, the Daily Duo pages, and I counted how many pages I have left. If I use one every day, I have till like October 10th. And then I'm out of daily pages from that Daily Duo, which is amazing. I have a couple of note pages, and there's note pages in the back here from that Daily Duo, and I have been using these. So I was trying to use these note pages first before I dive into the note pages that came with one of the planners. I stuck these in. These are just like planner ones. They're different than these ones that came from the Daily Duo that I'm trying to use up. So I don't have much left in the Daily Duo. I think it's safe to say I'm going to finish it up before the end of the year, and then I can move on, and then I'll be in the complete planner for more of like my day-to-day daily list making stuff. So I just have a few more, guys. This is the last chunk. And then I have menu. So today I ended up using the back. So this is Tuesday here. I used the back of the menu. This was actually the menu for last week. I realized I didn't use this back page, so I set it up for today. And then this is the menu for this week, and I set up the back page for this for tomorrow, so I can use these back pages as well, because I forgot about this one. I was ready to rip this one out, and I was like, oh man, I didn't do it. Because I have my cake pop stuff, I don't end up writing much in that side, which I thought I might. This is my cake pop. I'll flip to one that I haven't written anything on. I have notes pages in here as well, along with the weekly lists. See, there's custom orders already on here. Okay, this is just flavor menu stuff, but I write in all of my custom orders, and like flavor menu goes out Sunday, so I need to make sure it's on the calendar. I write out what days I need to prep cake and all that stuff. I haven't really used the habit tracker much, but I use this to-do listing section a ton, and the notes section down here a ton. I also stuck in, trying not to show anything, I also stuck in tons of note pages at the beginning of each month. So I've been using these for more brainstorming ideas, sample ideas, because I try to make samples for upcoming holidays and stuff. So I have that room, and it's been really helpful to have a lot of note pages in here. So I haven't been using these last couple of pages nearly as much. I was sketching out, this is my really rough sketch, but these are the 4 flavors this week. I've got pumpkin cheesecake, creme brulee, sea salt caramel, and almond joy inspired. So I was like sketching out what I want each design to look like, my ugly pumpkin. But I always forget, like, oh, how did I decorate the pumpkin cheesecake one? I can flip in here and be like, oh yes, I did a little dollop of whipped cream. It's just melting chocolate, but it looks like a little dollop of whipped cream. So I have that sketched out, and I really like being able to refer back to this. And it's getting low. I'm getting low on pages on this, so I'm waiting for this one to run out, and then I'll fully dive into using these note pages. And also I'll do more of like reference things I'll need to refer back to, like recipe testing and stuff, cooking times, that kind of thing. I'll have that in the graph notebook that I use next, which I think will be the Moomin notebook. I'm pretty sure I want to use the Moomin notebook. I don't know if I'm going to use it for cake popping. I think I might. And now when I was working on all of this, I'm like, what planner do I want in here for next year? I decided I'm going to redate this 2025 weeks planner. I didn't end up using this one. It was just an extra one I picked up. I had one I wanted to use for a plant journal, which totally fell off. You know, eye problems totally lost a lot of my planner enthusiasm. So I would use this one potentially as my workouts and health and all that stuff. Once my complete planner arrives and I'm full into that one, if I want one that's more strictly macro tracking and that type of stuff, I can always switch from this one next year to this one and just redate these pages. And so I chopped this one down, and I didn't love the pink in the background. I chopped, you can see I just took like a couple millimeters off each side here to make it fit. And that way it fit really nicely. I'm just going to pop this one out, pop the Sterling ink in. I just love Sterling ink. I love their designs. I love their layouts. Just a really beautiful planner, and I like it a little bit better than the Hobonichi cream paper. So I would put it in here, but I didn't love the pink with the plastic on top of it. So I just pulled out this little piece of vinyl because I could vinyl cover this planner potentially, and I was just sticking this piece. It happened to be a little scrap piece I had, and so I stuck this in to see if this would be like the color potentially I would put on this planner. Come on, buddy. It's hard to get it lined up. There we go. Oh, and that stupid little tab. I wish I hadn't ripped that thing off. So I loved the bright pink on there, so it could totally be, I would wrap it in the bright pink and then have it, and that's awesome. So bright, so fun. It really makes the characters pop. And I like this one also to be more of the health conscious type stuff because I like this on the back. Discipline. Just thought it was cute. Really fun. So I thought it'd be kind of, again, gamifying it. You're keeping your little guy alive and healthy. It could be, I'm keeping myself alive and healthy by putting all the health stuff in one spot. So that's also an option. I could just completely separate it out. Although I really like the idea of, you know, combining things and using it in here. I also like the idea of keeping it separate. So I'm just toying with both ideas. And this one has the same pages. Yearly page. These pages I could track. And I had a workout planner, like strictly just working out previously. So it definitely is right up my alley to go back to a week sized planner. And I could write in my macros and stuff as well. All that stuff. So it could be a completely separate thing from my complete planner. But for now, I'm just playing around with using this one. Also using this one because it's the current dates. I would have to redate this one for 2026. But that's my main thought process is I just really need to get back into the habits of these things and tracking stuff and gamifying it by giving myself a sticker every day is going to be fun. So I haven't decided which monthly I'm using for the stickers yet. That's going to be up in the air this week. Like which place am I going to start putting things, especially when I start getting back into the working out this week. I don't know where I'm going to put all that information. It might be duplicated for a little while. Oh, also, you saw how good that fit when I cut off just the tiniest sliver of each cover. It fit really nicely and you couldn't really tell. So I think that's a great option. It's just a cheater way to use the compact size sterling ink weeks, just cutting off the tiniest sliver of the cover, and then it fits really nicely in here. So anyway, that's my main thing. I'm talking you through me setting up my habits, me figuring out how I'm going to use my complete planner. I totally ditched the EC Hourly. I love it. I like planning it out, but I feel like because I have the Cake Pop planner, I don't need a ton of things planned out. I just need a little bit of room for to-do listing type stuff. I also use iCal significantly, so all of our timed things are already on there. And then I plan my Cake Pop stuff around those timed things. So between those two, the iCal and the Cake Pop planner, I have most of our week kind of hashed out. So I don't feel the need to have the EC Hourly outlined hardcore anymore. And then when this is a vertical planner, I don't know if it's going to be my to-do listing type thing, or I can incorporate in more like sticker sneeze because I have tons of Hobonichi cousin style stickers I can use to decorate that. And also I can set it up like the EC Hourly because there's a section at the top that's more hours, and then at the bottom I can do more to-do listing type stuff. I kind of want to do some time blocking in there as well, so I don't know how I'm going to use those vertical pages yet, but it's going to be some combination of to-do listing, time blocking, sticker sneezing, basically replacing my EC Hourly, writing out our weekly schedule, that sort of thing. Again, this is all kind of up in the air. I just need a good place to write in my to-do listing type stuff and make like a running to-do list. So this is just kind of like the main overarching things of the day. Right now I'm using the Daily Duo as my long to-do list, writing out more details and stuff. But at some point those pages are going to run out, like around October 10th is my estimate at this point. So if I use one every day, it'll be running out about October 10th. And then I would put more of those long form to-do listy type stuff in here. I could either just like start a running to-do list, bullet journal style on one of these pages, or start daily in the back and just like start next day starts here, because these aren't dated pages. So that's something I also have to kind of figure out once the Daily Duo is done. It's going to be incorporated in this book somehow. Right now I'm getting into the macros tracking working out portion of this, and then I'm adding in the daily to-do listing, changing from my Daily Duo to this. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I think I will end up not Franken planning again. This one runs out in October, and so November and December are going to just be in my Cake Pop planner, which I still have up here actually. Wound it all back together but didn't close the ends. I will probably just keep this one together, but I want note pages in here as well. So I might end up taking this apart, adding in a few note pages a month, and then putting it back together. Now, that July threw me off. I left July in here, but it really is starting in November because the July pages are already used. So it'd be November to the following December, which adding those 2 months in, I could take those 2 months out, add in notebook pages, and then I don't know what I would combine those 2 months with. Maybe just note pages and see if I'm keeping any of these pages, because I've got quite a few different things in here, like the custom order pages. Where did I put those? They're back here. I just covered the dates up with various stickers. So each custom order gets a grid, not a whole page, just a grid. So I might end up keeping these pages as well, like have these in the back of the book. I also want to put in the budgeting pages, lots of note pages. So that's definitely something I probably will end up doing for November, December, and then keeping the book together for the 12 months. But I'll figure that out after we get closer to October. This one goes through the end of October. But there's all my rambly planner situation. I got these. I think they're super cute. They're little square stampers. It's like the dot pins, but they're square. I've never seen these before. They were just super cute, and I grabbed them. I tested them out, and they're just cute. I wanted to test them out real quick in here, just on the grid. This is the Sterling ink grid. I'm just gonna put one on here. Like, those two things were done yesterday. I didn't check anything off, but I kind of want to start checking things off. So let's see. Let's use pink because I feel like it. So one side is just a fine liner, really cute. And then one side is the dot. It's just a pixel. That's cute. Look how cute that is. So I could actually just do that and then check them off. I think that's super cute. So I just loved that they were square, and I thought they would fit in the grid really nicely, which they do. I'll show you a little closer. Like in the store. See how cute that is? I just love it. So yeah, that's pretty much all. I'm just being able to use my Moomin cover, which is fun. I'm using the horizontal, which I got this at the beginning of the year thinking I was going to use it in this capacity. Never ended up using it really. Just, you know, a couple weeks trying it out here and there. And so I'm super glad to use it. And this is what I was talking about in my Hobonichi haul. I could still clip other pins on here. Can I stick another one in? Yeah. I could clip another couple pins just to the outside bit of this to have like all the pens with me. I don't need that many pens with me, but I kind of like having a lot of pens with me. And I also have my little donkey carrier for all my cute little stickers and other pens. So I still have this with me as well. So I hope you guys like this very rambly video. It gives you an idea of like the habits I'm trying to build for the remainder of this year. I want to end the year stronger than I started the year, especially because, man, I started the year really in a bad place. Like staying in a dark room, letting my eye heal, and basically just living off audiobooks. And that's pretty much my life for the first few months of the year. And it's drastically changed since then. Totally, fully recovered, using daily contacts. She said for a while my eye could be really prone to infection, so I have to be super careful. Using the daily contacts now instead of the 2-week contacts that I was using before. Just took it super duper easy. Now I'm ready to start pushing again. So that's where I am. I want to end the year strong. And so I hope you found some sort of goodness out of this video, got some sort of motivation from this video. I don't know what you guys are up to, but that's my goals for the end of the year. I want my cake pop business to be awesome throughout the holidays. So I'm really trying to do some cute holiday designs for the next few months. I've been prepping that like crazy, and I'm so excited for all my cake pop goodness, but I want to also make sure I'm really taking care of myself too. Like throwing in a whole new business, I can definitely see I'm not taking care of myself nearly as good because I'm just, you know, full of ideas, full on. I'm pouring everything into this, and I also want to work on myself still. So hope you guys liked this video and got something out of it. Like, subscribe, follow me along. Also, you can hype this video up if you're seeing it on mobile. That's a new thing that you can do. I have not said hype before in a video, so you can hype this video if you liked it. And I will catch you guys next time. Have a great day, guys. Bye.